it's Lana again. A lot of people have questions about how is the IELTS marked. So it's important to know the marking scheme of any exam, because in that way you can learn to adapt your strategy in the best way. So I'm going to take you through the different ways each section of the IELTS is marked. So we'll start off with writing. So if you've already done the IELTS, you will see these little letters in a little box at the bottom of your answer sheet. So we've got TA, CC, LR and GRA. And they all stand for different criteria that the examiner is going to assess you on. And they give you a band for each of these things. And then they get the average. So for example, say I got 5 here, I got 7 here, I got 6 here, and I got 4 there. They get the average of that. And in addition to that, 2 people look at it. So you'll see a little table like this with 2, examiner 1 and examiner 2. And then they get the average like that. Okay, the first criteria is task achievement. All task achievement basically means is did you accomplish the question? So did you answer the question you were asked? That's all that means. The next one is CC, coherence and cohesion. Coherence means is it easy to understand, and cohesion means the way it sticks together. So do you use like linkers, do you use paragraphs? Is your answer easy to read and easy to understand? The next thing is lexical resource. So it's talking about all the different vocabulary that you know. Do you reuse the same vocabulary? Or do you have a good understanding and do you know how to say this? Basically, do you know how to paraphrase well? Do you repeat yourself? And the next thing is GRA, which is grammatical range and accuracy. So they're looking for more than one tense. So if you can use the passive, the future perfect, the conditional tense, that is a really, really good thing. They're looking for how many different tenses you can use and how well can you accurately use them. Okay, so another thing that they mark you on is the word count. Obviously, if you are extremely underlength, that's no good. So there's a little box that says underlength. Another thing that is assessed is your legibility. So if nobody can read what you've written, you are marked down on that, unfortunately. Then this is another thing that not a lot of people know about, and they're called caps. So what a cap is, a cap just means a limit. So if your essay is like half finished, totally unfinished, depending on how bad it is, it could be from 5 to 5.5, that's the cap. Another thing, this is really, really huge. If you have grammar mistakes, any type of spelling, punctuation, tense, any type of mistake, in more than half of your report or essay, your score is capped at 5.5. A lot of people don't know this, and they think like, oh, well, I'm trying to get something across, I've made a lot of grammar mistakes, but it's okay because the essay is good, you know, it achieved the task, it's, you know, I use a lot of linkers and I use a lot of words. Unfortunately, you are capped for grammar. So to give an example, if I wrote 10 sentences in my writing part 2, let's say, so 10 sentences, and 6 of those sentences have even one mistake in them each, your score is going to be 5.5. And it doesn't matter if it was the most brilliant essay in the world, that's the way it is. Okay, so bear that in mind. Try and improve your accuracy as you're writing, because you do not want to be a victim of this cap. Right, so the next thing is speaking. So as you can see, LR and GRA, those are the same things. So they're still looking, do you know lots of words? Can you use a lot of tenses? Fluency and coherence. Coherence is like, can I understand you? Fluency kind of means, do I sound natural? Do I use different colloquialisms, phrasal verbs? Do I sound like a natural speaker, or do I kind of sound a little bit robotic? And then the next thing is pronunciation. So pronunciation is not the same as accent. You are allowed to have an accent, but your pronunciation should be good enough that the examiner doesn't confuse any words. So sheep and ship, things like that come to mind. So your pronunciation should overall be correct. Your accent is a different thing. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is listening and speaking. So if you've been watching my previous videos, you will know that listening and speaking has 40 questions. And you know, a lot of people when they're studying in school and they do like a sample paper and they get whatever, 33 out of 40, they don't know what it means. You can easily just type in IELTS band calculator on the internet and this type of table will come up. So based on what you get out of 40, that's how you calculate your band. Okay, and you can also read about this marking scheme. It's separated into the bands. So it tells you what task achievement looks like for a band 9 and what it looks like, for example, for a band 6.5. So read the marking scheme based on whatever band you're looking to achieve, and this will give you something to strive for and kind of clarify your goals for you. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye.